states that stay. The following questions give the relevant details to all the details in the book. Okay.
Right? Starting from the get from the before the get, before the book.
Well, which category?
First ghetto I'm going was my first ghetto was the work. And then we ran away. I mean, my partner, we ran away with another ghetto. But this, I mean, is not the right way to start.
Well, we'll go through the questions, but let's see. Okay. So, you start to tell me what happened when the Germans entered the city.
When the Germans entered the Warsaw, I mean, first of all, it was very kind because it was a map. The forces we want to give to the Warsaw in Germany. So all Poland was taken and Warsaw was defined. So when the Germans came into Warsaw, it was all very tight in the bomb, no water, no food. A lot of people was there, wounded. So the Germans came in, that was very loud. And the first day they started searching for Jews. So they took away a lot of young people, Jewish men, most of them, first day. So this time my brother was hiding because he was taught, he was over 6 years old. But later on we couldn't get him anymore in the house. So in the first month when the Germans was there, we walked down and they took him another 20 days. And we all thought that they didn't kill him. But they took him away and later on we figured out that they killed all of them. This was the first day. This was in 39, in October. So they came in a month later to Warsaw, because the war ended before, and the 9th month. But to Warsaw they came in the 10th month also. Yeah. So, and then they start all the problems. We didn't believe that would be so bad. So they start to take away the material things from the Jewish people. They try to kill. But we still didn't believe it. We thought that it's only money, it's only business, it's only. So later on, a lot of people from the young generations start to run to Russia. So, but if we want to go to Russia, I mean, my husband, my husband, and the young brother, they want to go to Russia. But my mother didn't want to go to Russia. She didn't stand the Russians. And because she remembered them from the first war, was the pogroms. She was a little girl. She said, the Germans want to kill us, let's stay in peace. So we didn't go to Russia, we stayed. And then in November, they started to evacuate the Jewish people from place to place. We still didn't know. And they did a lot of killing in and right in the beginning. So this was going on for a year, and they wasn't allowed anymore to travel by train or go out. They didn't start wearing
the
armband. But it wasn't so terrible. Still, we could manage. We used to sell a lot of things from the house and business to survive. Because we didn't take it serious, you know. The young people always didn't take it serious. Well, and later on, it was in 40 already, beginning in 40. We started at that time. First they came and they threw us out from the house because I had a nice apartment. So they took away in 1 hour. We had to leave the park and everything. Run out of the park. We had to go live somewhere else. So in the time we had money. My husband was a rich boy. Married to a rich boy. So we managed somehow. We went away. We took another apartment. And
to a different section of town you had to move?
Yeah, to a different street. But later on, in meantime, a lot of our families from also, one lost a boy, one lost two girls, and killing was going on and on, every night, every morning. They took away the radios, and each time they took more from us. Is that? You think so?
Yeah, you wanna?
To read papers or anyhow, we found out somehow, from the underground, and we had papers every day. But when the ghetto started building, we didn't know what it is really, because they built up one street and then it was ready. Then they took away. They demolished and they started building on the second street. In the meantime, they took away a lot of young people, the old intelligent people, and people were tired already. But it was a lot of hunger going on. It was a lot of eat. It was cold in the houses. And people started getting sick and tired. Mm-hmm. And this typhus was a real killer, because they started building quarantines, and they took away people from. If they found one sick person in an apartment, they took away the whole family, or sometimes the whole people from the whole building in a quarantine. And when they took to a quarantine, they couldn't come out alive. It's very seldom one came out alive. And then when they started building the ghetto, we had only, first we got 500 calories per day from car, and later it was 4, and finally it was 300 calories or 350 for a person. And people started dying in the street, and it was so many dead children and women who started dying. And our family died also a lot. And then we naturally we try to be alive. Mm-hmm. So I was the big knacker, how to say in English. So I took out my band and I went on the Aryan side. Mm-hmm. And I used to walk a lot, like let's say for a night, 25 kilometers, to buy some food, to bring it in. But if the Germans catch somebody like me, they was killed. A lot of people that got killed, children that did all how you call it, the smuggling.
That's right.
Yeah, the children, there was a lot of smuggling, the food bringing in the ghetto.
Right.
And then they start taking to the jails, special jails for people like this. And the Gestapo was working together with the Polish police. Mm-hmm. But I was always the lucky one. Mm-hmm. And I always tried to get food for my family. And then one day in Shibuya, June, they started taking the people on a place where they built, especially the street called Naaser. And they built a special line where the train came, and they started taking out the people, started the big Holocaust.
The deportation.
And on the first day, there was deported more than people. I mean, they want really 20,000 of them. They came 30,000 because people were so tired. They didn't believe, some of them didn't believe, and some didn't care. Just wants to eat, not bread, to be dead. So that's the way they got so many people. And it was for 3 months going on. And we was hiding all day long, and at night, after it was finished,
In your house?
Sometimes in the house, not in the apartment. You couldn't find a house in the apartment. The cellars or on the rooftop. And at night, when it was finished, we came out in the apartment, used to prepare food. And most of the older people were scarred, middle age was taken away, most of them young people left. So after 3 months, they made a selection and they took away, how much is they want to take. They took away and then of course it started to be quiet. In the meantime, I could arrange on the island side that we can go out to another ghetto, because they told us that the small ghettos are small food, and there wasn't so many sickness. So I gave away a lot of money to one person that he can help us, and he took us away from 30 kilometers far further to a small ghetto. And then...
A Polish person?
Yes, he was a Polish, but he did for the money. So when we came there to the small ghetto, it was like we belonged to it was another state. You see, the Warsaw state was all around Warsaw 30 kilometers. And after 30 kilometers, it was the German state. So we went to the German state. There was more food. It was a miserable conditions because it was living 30 people in one room. But it wasn't water enough. We couldn't take a bath or something. This was a luxury. See, but it was food. So we got there, and by the way, in the meantime, some other people ran away, but they got killed. They took them out. They found out that they were Warsaw. So the Warsaw people, they hate them. You know, this was the third Reich, they called it.
Yeah.
And they didn't like them, the Warsaw people. So, but I had some people that didn't like them, and they did me a favor. They didn't shut down. So I let them stay. So there was still my mother with me, and my husband, my two children.
How old were your children?
Oh, very little. Very little. We used to care for them. Very little. So, and then after we was there for 2 weeks, at night at 10 o'clock, everything happened in October. I had such a pet in October, pet lock, you know, always.
This is
That
39,
time of the
October
year.
30?
No, this was late. This was in 42. Or
42.
42. Because in 41 I started the uprising. 41 till 41.
In Warsaw?
In Warsaw, we didn't have till 41 because in 40 they started building the ghetto, and in 41 it was ready the ghetto. So we was there, and then we knew that all the people they must take away next day from the place anyway. And but at night I took my husband and the children and we ran away back to Warsaw.
You ran back to Warsaw?
Back to Warsaw at night.
Yeah.
So my mother didn't want to go. So I had a narco, and she was crying. And we went away. I said, I'm not going to stay. She said, whatever will happen will happen to us too. I said, no, I'm going. So she didn't want me to go. And we left. My mother was, and my husband's family was. My mother was 38 years old. And we left. And we came back to Warsaw, you know. There was no children in Warsaw. There was only 2 children, you know. But I came in the smuggling back in the ghetto, my children, it was, everybody was talking about them. There was no children. It was just a few that you had, people didn't know even about them. It was hiding in some cellars somewhere. And next day, the same Polish man let us know that really they took away all the people in the other ghetto. They took my mother also. They went to Auschwitz. They left. So we was in Warsaw for 3 months. It was, no, not for 3 months, for November till February. No, in 18th of January. The Germans start coming again to the ghetto every day and killing a lot of people in the morning in the street. And it was terrible things going on again. So in the Jewish defense, there started Jewish defense on the force. And they start fighting in the ghetto with the Germans. So I am from the Mila 18, that's the book. I'm from Mila 28. The book is from Mila 18. And I was there living. Mila.
You lived in
And you see, on our street, they catch two German kids, and the Jewish defense killed them. You see, because they wanted ammunition from them.
What group was this? Was this, one of the different groups that they?
What they're writing about them, a lot of them. See, I call it now Jewish defense. How would you call it?
I don't know, because I heard there names of different groups that.
Yeah, there was very small groups, you see, but they start building up to buy ammunition and to make them arms, But it was very, very poor and very little. They had a hard time getting something, Like a revolver was a big deal, a big thing, or a rifle. It was costing a fortune, and to smuggle it in the ghetto wasn't easy thing. So then two Germans got killed on our street, and then the German found out. You see, so they came in one day. They killed on our street alone 320 people, the young people. It was happened only in 2 hours. And but we have always, you see, my first husband, he was really organizing, for survival. He always worked, and he always tried. He never had a place to stay without a place for hiding. So at first he looked always for a hiding place. So we had a hiding place, and we survived on the street at the time also. So after this, when they killed all the 320 people, it came a special group was cleaning out the dead people, they took them all away. And it was quiet again. And it was quiet for a few months. And then they again start telling that they will be again announcing deportation. So we ran away to another ghetto. Again out. Yes, so we took the children. Then I haven't got my mother wasn't sure there. The whole family of my husband. Only one young brother. He was still working. He was 20 years old. We all was a young boy, just young. So I didn't want to stay anymore in Warsaw ghettos. We started looking for small ghettos. So we went out again to a ghetto.
You paid a Polish person to take you again?
No, we have connections, you see, with people, and we was the lucky one because we had the connection. So in the time, soon we got to the small ghetto started again. So I went through 9 ghettos. 9 ghettos with the children. And by the end, we were so tired. I said, I don't want to be with the Poles because they were so dangerous, just worse than just like the Germans. So I said, I don't know. I'm tired of everything. I want back to the ghetto. Whatever will happen, will happen.
Go back to Warsaw?
To Warsaw. So it was no place to go. There was liquidating all the small ghettos. No more small ghettos. You see, in any place it was a concentration from a small group men for working. They came up at night and they killed them all. There was no more places to go. The small ghettos. So we went back to Warsaw in the ghetto. We start building a bunker. So we built a bunker for a few months. Then when it was ready, we went in the bunker. But every 2 days or another woman, 2 women went out to buy something in the ghetto. So there was a big ghetto the first time. And then when they took away for the first 3 months a lot of Jews, about 500,000 Jews, they made the ghetto smaller. So on this place, on the neutral place, we figured that when we didn't know they're going to burn. So we figured if they're going to finish the ghetto, the small ghetto, we can run to the Polish place. But it wasn't like that. They was keeping all the neutral place with the small ghetto together. And I walked out with another woman. I didn't know they're grabbing today, say they the people. So they catch me. And my husband with the children were still in the bunker. They didn't know. With the other woman, I got the got us.
Yeah.
And they took us, they called Umschlagplatz,
Yeah.
where the train used to go from there. First they took us to another place, you know, it was a strip before the Umschlagplatz. Maybe you know the book about it, where the children was there with the foster children. You remember, did you read the book about the Jewish?
I've read a couple of them.
Oh, you don't
which
know.
one you
This
mean.
was on the same street with the children that took away. You don't know the story about Bookson.
A little.
And there was holding us on the street for a week.
For a week?
For a week here, but it was burning all around. And the Jewish defense, the boys were fighting the Germans. You could see on the roofs, like staying here on this roof, fighting on the next building. And then they took us also to the Umschlagplatz. And they wanted to be, they took us to Treblinka. But I jumped on the train. And you know, it was a whole packed train that I would only survive.
Fantastic.
But when I jumped from the train, I was still sure that I will be back with the children. So I jumped and I met also on the Umschlag my husband's youngest brother. He was also with the boys, with the band. He was also with the But I jumped with other three boys. But the boys, they catch the boys, you know, they killed them and I ran away.
And they didn't catch you?
No, not me. Them.
Yeah.
So I ran away only the one, and it was so hard from Treblinka. I was jumping on the train about 7 kilometers from Treblinka. Then I went back to Warsaw, you know, and the ghetto was still burning, but everybody was almost dead there. I know a lot of you used to have business with Poles a lot. So I went to some of them, and that's the way I started hiding.
And they let you hide?
Yeah.
For money? For money you paid them?
Not
No?
for money at all.
No? So what was their reason?
I think the reason is I was lucky just.
You were lucky you found nice people.
They liked me.
They liked you.
And I worked a lot for them. They had also, it wasn't so rich people, but I did a lot of things for them. They were a lot of use for me. And also they was nice people. I was lucky.
You were lucky.
I think as an individual they kept me, but they didn't keep Jews. So and then I was thinking
Different
maybe
people hid you, or one family?
Or
or
different.
Different people.
All different. Every week I used to be by other people. And then some called them papers, I got false papers. And then you see they say that the Russian company they were supposed to come on. It was 30 and 33, 43. And they said the Russian company, so I was waiting for the Russian, but the Russians came.
No.
So the German came, and they took me, they didn't know that I'm Jewish. They took me away to Austria.
Austria they took you?
And I was working in the hospital. They didn't know I'm Jewish.
And you worked in the hospital until the end of the war?
Till the end of the war.
And they never suspected you of being Jewish?
No. Nobody. The fact is I had a hard time because there was also Polish girls working. But nobody recognized.
No.
And this was till the American 11th Army came to live.
And they liberated
They
them.
liberated. But I went plenty through till that time.
Yeah. So you didn't yourself participate in the resistance? I mean, you knew people who were fighting, like against the Germans?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I know the whole bunch from the boys.
Like,
It
did
was
you know
12,
Latka
so-
Mead? Did you know her?
You see, name and all, this Latka.
Yeah.
It's not kind
Yeah.
I know Rottles was a fighter Bookson. He was our friend. It was all young boys, very young.
Yeah.
And I could tell you stories a lot about my friends, they all got killed, they all died in wars. In wars. There are a few people, you know, now, when I went to Israel, I mean, we are going every year to Israel. And one day I found out that I have a friend who was hiding on a roof together. And she's also divorced. She also jumped on a train, on a different train.
How did you jump on the train? You had made a hole in the train, or how
Yeah,
did you...
first you see it was the train was packed, and it was going very quick.
Yeah.
You see, and on each end of the train it was the with the guns and pachinka.
Yes.
And first they opened a hole on the floor, so the boys were so strong men, young. The willpower to life is very strong.
Yeah.
So and then they stopped the train at one station. They came out to look for if somebody tries to escape, and they found the hole in the train, and they killed at that time 3 boys. And then they closed again. It wasn't like for people for traveling. Like for animals.
Yes, cattle cars.
Cattle cars.
Yes.
And then they closed again the cattle cars, and we went further and very quick. The trains went always quick.
Yeah.
At night, not in the day.
At night you were...
Most of them. And then when they took out the 3 boys, they killed them. And they tried to do something else of my head, because I was hiding, something like a file from the nail. It wasn't from the nail. It was a heavier.
Yeah, a metal file.
Yeah. I always kept it with me, a knife or things like that. And everybody did.
Yeah.
But when the Ukrainian came in and they asked who has some weapon or knives to give them away,
Yeah,
I didn't give away mine. No. And he was looking, he was touching me, he found. So then later, because it was small windows like for animals, and the little iron bars, yeah. So they had to open the bar, and it was really hard. It took him a long time to open the bar. Finally, they opened the bar.
And you went up.
And first they threw me out and they explained to me how to jump. Yeah, and
did everyone want to jump?
No.
No.
They was afraid.
They were afraid.
And they was also exhausted. They didn't want to ride. Families was dead already.
Yeah.
It was only young people in the train. Because this was end of 33. You see, all the elderly people and the children was dead. So there was a few boys that would throw me out and explain me how to bag, jump, and I jumped first, and then 3 boys after me. So one got hit in the head, and one got hit in the arm, and each one of them got hit, but not me. You see, and then we ran away, and then in the morning, the Poles started after us. So that's the reason they got the boys, but I ran away. They couldn't get me. And that's the way I jumped from the train up through the window. And in a half an hour later, it was morning already, because it was not far from Treblinka. It was about 7-8 kilometers. You could see even the line where the train goes. It wasn't a solid one. It was just built for it, When I see they call it Shedler. From Shedler till there it was the special line built to take the people to Treblinka. And then I came to Warsaw. I took a train, and a lot of things happened to me, but I survived. But 30 young people, 40 young people in one apartment. At the daytime we was hiding, at night we was cooking and eating, you know, and also stealing.
Yeah.
Because without stealing we couldn't survive.
Mm-hmm.
So naturally, I don't know if you call it stealing because the people was desperate. They took away, we call it shopping.
Mm-hmm. So you took from the dead people whatever you could.
Because the houses, it was houses, left apartments, you could see the food of the table, the watch was still wired, you know, and it was everything like the food would be alive.
Yeah.
So we used to take things, you know, and we came up to goyish time to sell the things. You know. They always needed, Poles always need something, so we sold them. Anything we could take it out to sell it for food. So we sell it because they can get to eat.
And how long were you in Austria?
Oh, I came to Austria in April.
In April.
I'm sorry. I came to Austria in January 44.
January 44?
Yes. And then they sent me to the Arbeitsamt and they sent me to the hospital. And I was working in the hospital. In May, 5th of May, the American Army came.
Were there many other Jewish girls there?
No.
You were
not.
And in Warsaw, when they first heard about the situation, the Jewish people.
A lot of things to me. I was one year after my mother. I always argued with my mother.
Most of the people in the States believe this too.
You see, the first war was the Russians, for the first war of the Russians. Like Hitler was out the good one. But they also didn't know Russian, especially the Russian. So they prepared the Germans and the Russians. And my mother was very smart. She said, how do you the first political defender? We cannot believe it. And that's actually without it. And there was a lot of things. But young people know that the news always is more like way down in the it's so unsecure.
Do you want to answer your phone?
You see the thing? I would say I would
Yeah.
The young people they like to know. If they don't want to make another choice, let's say they want to make a choice, they do whatever they want. So that they make not believe. The 1997 parents start saying, why did you try to do something for your children to save something? They didn't want to talk about it. They didn't want to even listen. One family they almost throw me out. When I came in and I said, you have such a beautiful girl, why don't you try to send them away? They don't care. Yeah. Because they are all dead. They didn't want to. No. At present,
yeah.
At the moment they think that you will survive, you are alive, and you will stay alive. And you didn't want to believe it. When we went out at the Polish time, in the first second we went out and out with the army. Everybody could kill because he was without the right to kill. Yeah. He didn't afford to kill you. Any bomb from the street could kill you, nobody would touch anything. without trying.
Yeah.
It's the same thing like a Jewish girl who goes to Israel and goes to the Arab period where they kill you. So nobody will say they will say that he's a Jew. What is the reason for the same thing? You don't even to realize what this is.
Did you speak Polish?
Yeah.
Did you? So you got along with the Polish people?
You see, they have a sort of mentality here, but they don't like the Jewish people. And you have to be really not expert to know how to act with them. And if you do, you don't argue with them. It's not hard to explain because I knew a lot of young girls that were so beautiful and nobody wanted to use them, hide them, even for work or even for money. I had a special way.
You
maybe it was
acted.
my love.
Yeah.
Maybe it was my love. I don't know. Sometimes I believe in love, sometimes I don't know what I have to believe. I think I was in a way lucky, and I was strong in spirit.
Yeah.
I think it helped people. Let's say when I worked for them so
strong will.
hard, I worked for them so hard, I never spent some time hungry or I'm a family together. I never said things. I didn't show it to my friends. I just tried to do it. I wash clothes, I didn't know how, but I learned that a lot. This is a very hard work. A night to work in the Arabic. But I knew a lot of children because they were Jewish children. There was people snow, there was cold weather, there was ice cream, there was snow, all the together stores. Like a little house. But I was lucky. But I think I had a strong spirit because I always had a strong spirit because I always had a confidence still alive in the get.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I really think I didn't want to be alive myself.
Yeah.
I was completely amazed.
And from Austria you came here?
Oh, from Austria, then start for me a new fight for life. Yeah. First of all, I was so mixed up in my mind. First of all, I didn't know. Then I tried to hide myself. My husband always like then I was every hour, every minute I was but later, now that we get out there, yeah. I didn't realize I was always like drunk. And there were curious things. I was ready at the time to go to Israel. Came out with the difficulties. Then I went to Brazil. And I came to Brazil. It was expensive and I had to go back without money. You know what the Stadt you don't know. A Jew, you know that they used to be a play, a Jewish play. They called the Jew the Jew without food. And
I wonder.
yeah, I was looking for a place where I was born, around it, but there wasn't a place. So I was running from one country to the other my life. I didn't know myself what I'm looking for. So because everybody was there. I didn't want to. I didn't like it. Whatever I did, I didn't like it.
You were alone.
I was even expressed. Then later, natural when I didn't want to marry, and then he mentioned he wanted to marry me because I was okay with me. It didn't work out well. He also got I didn't know his home, I didn't know nothing about him. Everybody after the war was situation, just got married with a person who was not. And later, after 7 years ago, they didn't catch him. We both said one of us really wanted to travel. Then they made the bounds for the college, you know, so they went up with a better way to Budapest. And then they came to Budapest, the Russian side of the Germans. Then I got to home, I almost died. And everybody around the people there was killed, just I was alive. And it was so many things to do. And I couldn't believe myself that how people died like that, all that. And all the people sitting around me were saying, only I was still alive.
This was on the way where?
No, this was on the way when they took me to Germany.
When they took you to
Germany. And they were so and then they took us away, the whole transport, the whole train was people, working people. They took us to Budapest, the workplace. And there was the big fight, the Germans, the left side, the Germans with the Russians. And there where I got the and I was so sick, I had to go operate. They didn't want to take me to the hospital because I'm Polish. So I used to therapist, you know, and everybody.
So they offered you a Polish, you had Polish papers.
Polish papers.
Yeah.
And finally, I came to Vienna. And when I came to Vienna, they told me that I had to go to the Stockholm, you know. And to the like the mayor in the city.
Yeah.
It was the biggest Nazi in Vienna. And they told me, you are Polish. If you want to be operated in our hospital, and I was thinking, what's my hospital?
No.
You have to give a sign,
Oh, it's my mother.
Your mother? Yes. Yeah, tell her to come on. And the infection was so bad that it was for a week. I had a terrible infection. So they told me to go to this mayor, the Nazi. If he would give my shoe back, because I something different in the hospital. I wasn't taken in the hospital. I went to so you should have seen my I thought I was distracted and me and all this, cross. Or like it really nothing. He was the real one.
Yeah.
You know what I explained to you. I worked at Germany and I got sick. I had to be operated. So you know what they did? You would be a very attractive girl. Polish girl. And he climbed in the ambulance, not in the hospital. They got operated on me, they took out the pain. And in the hospital, everybody was looking. It was one Polish girl who came to the kitchen of four. It was really German. Only for the German. And you know, one came in. This is in the air? Yeah, it was Baden this year. And one Nazi came in and he said to me, I can go to also, but I'm a Apostle. And he was an officer, in Bookson. And it was the underground chapter. And he offered an attack. And they sent him to all the hospitals for treatment. And came to me. What do you think he recognized the Warsaw and Jewish?
What happened?
By what the operator.
He recognized
He recognized. He said, I know you can go to this place in Warsaw and you can come to the house. What could I tell you? I couldn't say yes or no. I said, now I'm there for real. So the next day, they came, the American plane, and they started shutting down, and I don't know what happened. Everything was black. You couldn't see the thing, and I ran away.
From the hospital?
I took a train, and ran away, and I couldn't go far because every day was the planes coming and checking me out. So I went to live far in Vienna, South Jersey, not like to go from here to Florida, small business. I came there and they told me to go to the office of the lecturer.
Yeah.
So I went there and I said, I just got this paper from this person in Vienna that I was and they just took out the, I didn't have even the first, I call it, when you operate, 2 days later you take out the things or the stitches or whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't have it even done. And they refused to give me a chance to go to this hospital. But you know what happened to me? They sent me to the hospital to work. 4 girls in one room. At night I had to get that ring and it was Jewish. And they didn't understand what I'm talking. But the Polish girls thought that I'm speaking German. And they didn't understand. It was like an angel was over me. So good. I never even found out what happened to this German. What did I come out?
She got away from him. You got away from him.
Yes. I thought he would kill me. He will bring me somebody to kill me. That's all the kind of things that can talk for hours.
So the name of the ghetto that you were at is Warsaw, right? And you were there a day. What was the day?
The day when they told the ghetto?
Yeah. You were in and out.
In and out, but I was in all the uprisings I was there.
You were there in the uprising?
Yeah, each
yes.
time I was there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and were you in the same town before the ghetto was set up?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. When was the ghetto in your town set up? Year?
Start building a ghetto before and it was complete ready to go to.
Okay. What anti-Jewish actions were taken before the ghetto was established, including pogroms, state dates and details organized by Germans or others or jointly? What anti-Jewish actions? What did they do before the ghetto was established? The Poles.
Yes. They used to stand on the bridges, before the bridges, and to watch the people coming who is Jewish, you know, and to grab them, to rob everything from them, to take out the coat, the sweater.
They robbed.
Yes. They beat them up and they took them to the police. When it was not a death penalty for the Jewish people, even before.
Answer this, but anyway, did any of your family live in the same ghetto with you?
Yes, all my family.
So, your brother and your
my mother, my brother, my grandmother, a lot of uncles, and cousins, a lot.
And your husband and your
my
children?
husband and my husband's two brother and his sister and the sister's children and the brothers of my husband and the father of my husband. And also a lot of cousins and uncles.
Big family.
Big.
What work did you do in the ghetto?
What? In the ghetto? I didn't work. I mean,
you smuggled, right?
Yeah, I smuggled.
Yes, that's work.
That's what you call it.
You had the hardest job.
Yes, I smuggled. Every day for my life in the ghetto, I was listening to my life. But I didn't realize. I mean, I had to do it. I couldn't see them suffer.
Yeah.
I mean, I was very happy when I came in. I brought in food, and I did see them eat.
Yeah, you felt good.
Yes. It was a wonderful feeling. Tragic, but wonderful.
Yes. Well, you weren't a refugee in the ghetto.
No.
Okay, so.
In the small ghetto, I was a refugee.
Oh.
Not there.
So
not
what was the attitude of the people towards you? Were they glad to see you?
Where?
In these small ghettos that you went to, did they treat you like an outsider? Or?
Well, okay, darling. You see, I think I was all my life a person where everybody liked me. I had good luck, I think. And I was always getting along.
You got along with
people.
everyone?
With everyone, yes. Even if it was a situation not so good, it came out always good for me and my family.
So they treated you well?
I had, yes, I think because maybe I treated good people.
You definitely.
Yeah. I think I was never selfish. I think maybe this was the reason. In which ghetto I was, I didn't think for myself to eat, just to grab for myself. It gave me pleasure. I think it's like happiness.
Yeah.
I like to give. You know, I enjoy giving. But it was, I think, since I was a child. Maybe it's helped. I don't know.
Okay. If you stayed in your hometown, how did the townspeople view refugees from other places? Give details regarding refugees' numbers, place of origin, dates of arrival. In Warsaw, how did the people who lived there react to? I'm sure other people were brought there.
Some of them react very selfish.
They were selfish.
Very selfish.
Yeah.
Very selfish. But now, you see, in the time being, I blame them. But now I don't.
Now you don't
when
feel
I think,
that.
I know. When a people in a situation like this, it's hard. I don't want to judge them. I think first of all that they didn't have the nerve to do things like I was doing yesterday.
Yeah.
And the fact is that the same people died from hunger. They didn't have the nerve to do it.
Okay. Were you allowed to leave the ghetto at first?
No, never. I
Never?
always left the ghetto without...
Illegally?
Illegally.
Yeah.
You see, I really was, in Washington ghetto, they knew me a lot.
Yeah.
Because I was very proud, you see. I knew all the people from the organizations, I mean, but I didn't work with them because I had to support two little children. And I always was afraid to send out my husband because a man was dangerous to send.
You better send them.
Yes. A lot of times the Germans catched me, they beat me up, and they took away the food from me, and I went again.
And you went anyway again?
I went again.
Approximate size of ghetto. How big was the ghetto?
You mean the Warsaw ghetto?
Well, yeah.
Or the small ghetto?
If you whatever you know.
You see, the difference was from the small ghetto to the Warsaw ghetto. Warsaw ghetto has a wall, high wall. I mean, the top. Did you ever see in the movie?
Yeah.
I mean, the top of the wall was glass. They made it specially. That was the built specially for the Warsaw ghetto. But the small ghetto hadn't that at all. You see, it was only sign, all around sign, not allowed to walk on this side street. I mean, you are allowed on this side street, but on the next side street, you get killed. Just death sentence. Death.
Yeah. Okay. Was there a wall? Yes. There was a ghetto.
In the ghetto. I mean, it was a wall right in the beginning, in 1939, when the Poles didn't want to let in the Germans into was a wall.
And a wooden fence, a barbed wire fence, no physical boundary. Well, let's say in the smaller ghetto, what surrounded it? A wooden fence or a barbed wire or anything
No,
like
in
that?
one ghetto, a wooden fence.
In one ghetto,
In one, yes. This was not in the Warsaw state. This was the German state. Was a wooden fence. Yes.
Organization of guard at gate.
Yes.
The sentries and the pass system, nature of guard, Jewish, German, Polish, or other.
Yes. Well, in most of them was in Warsaw was German, Polish police, and Jewish police. But in the smaller ghetto, it was only Jewish police, and then if you walk further out, then you got the Polish police. And the Germans did the killing.
Yeah. So how did you get past these guards when you went outside?
I had to smuggle out.
Yeah.
And this was the death and life. I mean, a lot of people got killed, and there was a lot of jails. They built up a lot of jails for it. And who you think was the smugglers? Children, most of them children.
Did you have to pay a guard or something to get out?
No. You see, in the Warsaw ghetto, it was like every day they took a lot of groups of young people to walk out. See? And we used to walk out from the ghetto in the morning. At night we came back.
You walked with those groups?
No, you couldn't because there was counting. But the Jewish head is always smart. They know what to do.
Yeah.
See? We played big games with it. A lot of people got killed by it. But they have to do it like now. People are getting killed in Israel, but they have to do it for survival. How else can they survive?
Yeah.
This was the same thing. We know that if they catch us, then it's a killing. But what could we do?
Okay. Did you have any knowledge of what went on outside of Nazi territory? Were there radios, underground newspapers, or leaflets? Did you send or receive letters from abroad?
Yes, absolutely. We knew.
You knew?
We knew everything. We even knew that American people doesn't want to help us. We knew
Through
that nobody
radio
wants
or
to help.
Or
through
had,
radio.
you had
Through
radios
Yes,
and newspapers,
yes. If they
underground?
catch one person with a radio now in one house, they kill all from the whole building to people, especially in the ghetto. Even by the courts wasn't allowed to have a radio or a camera, pictures, or things like you could make. No, it wasn't allowed. But especially in the ghetto, it's very strict.
Yeah, and you had underground newspapers and you knew what was
everything.
happening.
We had underground newspapers and we made a lot of things and we had theater and we went dancing and we was hungry and we was fighting with other Jewish people. And
did you send letters? Mail? Did mail go through out?
Yes, we knew there was censor, how we call it. There was every phone call was paid, or every letter was also
censored. Yeah.
Yes. But we took chances. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. We took chances, and that's the way it went. I mean, if let's say 10 letters we sent out. So they took 9 away. They didn't deliver the 9, so 1 got delivered.
1 got through.
A lot of Jewish organizations worked also in the ghetto. And we had food and black market. So the smoked room, this was the food.
Yeah.
And it was like medication. Not too much, but it was some.
Yeah.
Also black market. Alcohol was black market. Everything was black market. You wasn't even allowed to eat it or to wear to keep a piece of jewelry or to keep a piece of gold, but we kept. We didn't give it up.
Didn't give it up.
They took away everything.
Yeah.
The law was to give them away. But they didn't.
When did you know about the truth about the extermination, the gas chambers?
First of all, it didn't start in one month or in 2 months. It was gradually.
Gradually?
Yes. You see, first they came in and they started taking the young men, like they took my brother in the first month.
Yeah.
He was handsome, he was young. So they didn't like to have him with the Jewish people, young, handsome people, or educated people. So the educated one and the good-looking one, they took away. See, first. And this was going on with our son. And let's say in the second month when they were there, Germans already, they say not allowed a radio. In all the papers, all the signs for each building, no radios allowed. You get killed for keeping a radio. You see? And the next day was another paper. Every day was
different laws.
You could see people reading the paper on the walls. Every day new ones. One day was the Jewish people are not allowed to travel by train, or even at wasn't again. Even the ghetto started late. It can happen every
That
day.
it can happen.
It can happen.
Right. Let me see where I'm up to.
We was also believers, like he's the young people who were at that time young, and we believed that the Poles, they're anti-Semitism and they're making pogroms, but we're not afraid of them. We can go away, we can do this, we can do that.
Yeah.
But one day we got cut up from everything. We couldn't run away.
It came very suddenly.
It came very suddenly. Why it happened that time? I mean, the Germans, such intelligent people. Look who was the Germans. Who did all these things.
Right. Okay. Did you have any personal or family plans to escape? What were they? Oh, we went through that, I think.
Yes, we always made, from the time when the Germans came, we knew a lot from our family. we start realizing that it's no good, it's going on bad things, and maybe they are able to kill us also. We start to believe, but we didn't believe completely. But later, when we did see in 1 hour they came, they took away the apartment for me, now winter day, with the small little children, they took out everything what was in the house. They went to my brother's house, they took out the furniture because there was new, and in the other neighbors, they took out, one neighbor of mine got shot, out. They took him out at night from the apartment, and he didn't came back. So the wife went down, looking. He was dead, lying there, and dead. They shot him just because he had a nice business, And it was pleasure for them.
Yeah.
They found a pleasure in it, just to kill other people. That's Jewish.
Sport. Yeah.
They did a lot to the Poles too.
Yeah.
But we hate so much the Poles that they didn't hurt us when they killed the Poles.
Okay, what did you eat in the ghetto at different times? Size of ration, method of distribution, who distributed?
Who distributed? I think the people in the ghetto, they did a lot when they could.
Yeah.
But later they got poorer and poorer, and they couldn't do anything anymore. So, but they got a little bit through. The Red Cross came very little.
Yeah.
And they got some of it, but it was so little, like nothing really. And later on, it was no help from nobody. And they just was dying.
Yeah.
They didn't have to eat. And they was working 18 hours a day. If they didn't work, they were staying in bed without food, without clothes. First they start selling the clothes, for the food. And then they didn't have heat, they didn't have food, and it was cold, and the people were dying.
Yeah.
You see, but some people in the ghetto, some people were stealing, some people was blackmailing, some people, but the really nice people, the honest, couldn't do things like this. So just drop dead, and that's all. Little by little, We was walking in the street always, in every street you could see 100 people that laying every day. It wasn't even somebody to take them away. They used to cover them with a paper, and then when they didn't have the paper, they didn't want the was laying in swollen, the legs were swollen. Children with women, you could see a woman with 3-4 children laying there. Didn't you see the movies from there?
Yes.
This is true.
Yes. So, but your family had money, right? So
we had money. You see, I married a rich guy, and he was a good business boy. He was very, very smart, and we had really good business.
What kind of a business?
It was a business really, but here I don't hear people like to have a business like this. I will tell you what my husband did. He did the things what the frankfurters what you buy, and you pull in the meat in it.
Yes.
The
the covering of the frankfurters.
Yes, it was a tremendous business.
It was.
Because Jewish people used to eat a lot of this, and the Poles used to eat a lot of this sort of delicatessen.
Yes, delicatessen.
And this was a wonderful business. We had a lot of money. And when the war came, the Germans took a lot away from us, but we hid a lot also. So we somehow managed. And later, when I didn't have anything from the business anymore, I had good things in the house. So I started selling. And then when everything was almost ready, then I started to smuggle.
Yeah.
See, I was a very good-looking girl.
I can see that.
It was so many years ago, and I wasn't 20 years old, and I had a good disposition, Even I could see that German will kill me now, right now, but I smiled and I talked and I said, I'm not Jewish and I'm not Jewish, so he let me go. You see? And
you're a very brave woman.
Then I smuggled for all my family until the blessed moment. I mean, we didn't have luxury. My children didn't see milk.
No.
Or they didn't see eggs, chocolate, or butter, or white bread even. But other people didn't have even the things I did. Yes, so from time to time when I brought a good schmucker, you know, it came, nobody took away from me. And I brought in, sometimes I took in a white patches, it was a luxury.
Oh.
Like let's say, like white bread, Vienna bread, and this was the real thing. You know, or for Sunday, I used to once a week to make for the children pancake, you know, from potatoes and other things, and I was so happy. You know, if you wouldn't tell me this is an interview for the young people, I wouldn't like to talk about it. I don't talk about it. Even with my husband, I don't talk about it.
Yes, I can understand that.
And each time I really, sometimes I cannot sleep. I think of it.
You do think of it?
Oh, it's all the time. I think now what I don't remember things for now is the reason, because my mind is always occupied. I don't talk, but
it's very hard.
Yeah. And now, especially, we like Israel very much.
Yes.
It reminds me the home.
Yeah.
But my friend, what I told you, that she was hiding with me together, also she also jumped in a train.
Yeah.
Her only son got killed now.
Oh.
And I was so sick because of this. He was in a tank. He's missed in action. We don't know even where he got lost. And otherwise I would be now in Israel. I cannot go to face her.
Let me just finish. I only have a couple more. Size of living space throughout the time. How many people in the apartment or room? Cooking and sanitary arrangements. Availability of coal or wood for heating.
Oh, sanitation part. No, you can ask. Well, we most of the time we was living together, young people, you know, like you now.
Yeah.
Boys with girls together, 30, 40 in a room, you know, and eating whatever we had, we share.
Yeah.
You know, we organized all of them. I mean, less. It wasn't so many people in the ghetto. It was about 60,000 Jewish.
Yeah.
So it was only young people. And it wasn't so hard to organize because it wasn't so many hungry people. So it was easier.
It was easier when there were less people.
Yes, to organize. So we organized, we used to cook, or we used to steal, whatever we could. And then at night we eat. And in the meantime we had fun also.
You did?
Oh, I can read books about it.
What pre-war...
You know, all the time it reminds me, one girl, especially, she was about 16 years old. She was with a sister, and her sister was 13 years old. And the parents got killed. Very religious people, nice people. And she was a petite girl, but her blonde hair was so long.
Oh boy.
And she never knew about sex, because her parents was very strict. And this was after the first uprising. And she said, my God, I'm going to die, I don't know even what sex is. I said to her, why don't you go to sleep with a boy? She said, I should do it. But first let me do something with my sister. We couldn't keep the little girl. So she's given away her aunt. Her aunt was hiding her in another place. But one time the German came and they killed some people. She didn't know what happened to the girl. So it was not far from us next block, but it was so difficult. So she said one day, now I'm going to do something. I have to get alcohol. She said, you know, vodka?
Yeah.
The vodka and everything.
Yeah.
Vodka. And we had a car. She was so beautiful. I always think about those girls. with water. It wasn't a bath.
No.
Just wash a little bit.
Yeah.
Yes. So she took off the clothes. She was so sexy and beautiful. And the hair, beautiful.
Blonde hair.
She was so beautiful. I think this was the age, so beautiful. And the blonde hair. And, you know, she drank. She never was used to vodka. And she drank 2 glasses of vodka. At night she kept the bowl. And she went with it to bed. You know, we used to keep the beds all around the walls. You know, and on each bed for sleeping 4 people.
Oh, 4
Yeah.
people in a bed.
Yeah, 2 on this side and 2 on this side. And it was more rooms, but we didn't want to be separate. We want to be together. You know?
Oh. Mm-hmm.
I think this gives us more.
Felt more together.
I think so.
Spirit. Yeah.
And at night, I woke up. I was sleeping in the basement always with the children because I was afraid maybe in the night Germans or something. So I always took the children there. They had their blankets and everything in the basement, and I always slept with the children in the basement. When I came up in the morning, I said to her, "So what did you do?" She sit and cries. She said, I'm not a virgin anymore. It's finished." And this boy fell in love with him so crazy. But next day the boy got killed.
Oh.
You know, this boy was from a family from 10 boys.
10
and
boys.
one girl. And one girl.
Very large
And
family.
this was the more beautiful family. You know. But they took away all of them, just one boy was left. Not him. He took away an alternate boy.
Yeah.
Also him. And then she was sitting and crying. But 3 days later they took her away also.
Oh.
I can tell you stories like this from girls and boys. My God.
Such a waste. Let me just finish these. I only have 4 questions. No, 3. Okay. What pre-war political parties were there? What was their relative strength, and who were the Jewish leaders in the town before 1939? What happened to them during the war?
Oh, the Jewish leaders. Well, you mean from organizations?
Yeah, like the Rabbanim and the rabbis and...
Oh, the rabbis, well.
And the important people.
There still was rabbis, and there was hiding. They didn't go out in the daytime, they start hiding, you know. And they didn't want to cut off the bird, that's why there was hiding.
Yeah.
And the yeshivas was still there.
Yes.
Yes. And but then they got also sick, like people are getting sick. They used to die. They didn't go out to work like others did because they didn't want the Jewish uniform, you know, the Hasidim.
Yeah.
And it was less and less, and it was dying just like the other people from hunger. And but
so who were the leaders of the community like?
There were all kind of leaders. It was small groups, you see. It was small groups, yes. And they was dying just like other people. The organization, but I think that
like the Jewish council.
The Jewish council, you mean like the mayor, the Jewish mayor?
Yes.
You heard about him.
Yeah.
He became suicide.
Yes, right.
You heard about him.
Yes.
Chernyakov.
Right.
Yeah. So he killed himself because he was from Himmler, a friend. He used to go together with him to school, and he thought that he was his friend. He will do something for his Jews, and he became mayor from the ghetto, from the Warsaw ghetto. But later, when he went to him, and he found out that they will do nothing for us. They want him to sign. All the Jews have to be deported, to take away. So he didn't want to sign. He said he will sign in a few days later or after that. And he came home
and he committed suicide. Yes.
He was the biggest leader.
Yes.
And then it was police. The police was no good.
The police weren't good, no.
And look,
the people didn't like the Jewish police in Warsaw?
No. Most of the time.
They didn't help the people or anything?
No, you see this, I don't want to talk about because it's our people.
Yeah.
But that was
No. They
You
had
see,
to
there
deport
wasn't good. The reason why there wasn't good, there was punished with hunger just the same like other people.
Yeah.
And they thought that if they are good to the Germans, that their families will survive.
Mm-hmm.
So the Germans promised them, you see, that if you do the right work, your family will survive.
Mm-hmm.
So they took the families to other streets,
Mm-hmm.
and they gave special blocks for them.
Yes.
And they did the work for the other people. That was mean to other people.
They were mean to the other Jews.
Yeah. And when they was really mean to the other, they did the work the way the Germans wanted. Then later, the Germans didn't want them to.
Mm-hmm.
So one day they went to take out all the other Jews. The German came from this side and they took all the families from the block. When they came home, they found out that they lost just the families like the other people lost the families.
Mm-hmm.
You see. So then the Germans alone shot them. They didn't want to have the witness.
They shot them?
Yeah, they shot them, a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
You see, when I was on the Umschlag, they shot a lot of Jewish policemen. Took out the belts with the heads and they shot them. And
so they weren't looked up to at all then, the Jewish police, by the other people, the other Jews.
There was overdoing the police, you see. There wasn't on the Jewish side, on the side for the Jewish, to protect the Jewish, there was more for themselves.
Yeah.
To have good food,
Mm-hmm.
to have good clothes, to have warm houses for the families,
Mm-hmm.
with girlfriends to have, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And but later, the end was just tragic from them, just from the other.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's conditions like this, things happen like this.
Yes.
People are mean.
Yes.
You see, a good person. I mean, first they promised. When they promised to the police that you take everything, you keep everything in order, you do your job well, you people will be good off, and you will be good off in everything. But the Germans didn't keep the promise.
No.
See, each time they did something else,
Right.
different. So they made us be animals.
Yes.
You see, they took away the crowd of us.
Yes.
They took away the food. They took away everything. What a human ambition can. It took away all the ambition, you know.
Yes, they broke the spirit.
Completely.
How was the first Judenreich appointed? Who were the people in it? Try to describe the Judenreich's development as far as leadership and organization are concerned throughout the time.
You see, it was a few groups from this. It was like from the organizations like one who did for the Bryna, we call it Bryna. Bryna. This was for Israel, you know, the right wing and the left wing. Oh, you know. You talk to them together.
Yes.
And they made work this committee, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And later, when the problem started for them, that's, the people start complaining about this. There was a lot their faults too, but it was a lot the faults from the Germans because they pushed them to do the things, you see. And they start fighting between themselves, you see.
The different people or the groups were?
The groups.
The groups.
And then when the Chernyakov killed himself, then they fall apart completely.
Mm-hmm.
See, there was a group. One group was saying that we cannot believe the Germans. They are so mean to us.
Yeah.
They open so many jails. They put so many young children in the jails. They beat them up. They took the eyes out. They do so many things to them. How can we trust them? How can we believe them? In the other group was saying, let's try it again. Let's take another chance. Maybe this time they will be better, and this and this and that. You see, but it wasn't like this at all. So till they woke up from this and they start really believe that this is the really killers, you know. Then the whole government falls apart. I mean, the Jewish government in the ghetto.
Yes, and they realized that.
And they realized that. And then they said, when he killed himself, they said to each individual group to do whatever they can do to protect themselves. That's all. And that was the way. You see.
Did the Jewish people respect the
The government?
Yes.
You mean the
Judenrat, right.
You see, in the beginning we respect a lot.
Yes.
Because we count so much on them.
Yes.
You see, and there was selected very intelligent group of people.
Yes.
But later, when we want our law, I mean, how far we can go.
Mm-hmm.
But if they say that the police, let's say, they want to have 500 police, so the Germans said you need 1,000 police. We really didn't need it. They could work and they could do things. But we have always to give in to the Germans.
Yeah.
But the Germans ask so much from them each time. That's on the end they have to give in everything, because they thought if they give in everything they will save some people from the ghetto. You see, but this wasn't the point at all. We shouldn't give in at all, nothing.
So then the people
we should fight bald from the beginning, and there may be some more people would survive. You see,
yeah.
If everyone would run in a different direction, maybe they wouldn't get killed, all of them. You see, but first of all, the government, I mean the Jewish, they didn't want them to the group to have together, so close together. They want to have them on all kind of let's say sections,
yeah,
to work with all kind of work. But each time the Germans refused. You see. In the beginning, they said they will say the Jewish people 10 kilometers far away for work. They will send them here. They will give them, I mean, work, and they will make money, and they will be alive. But later they didn't. You see, there was less.
So
and less
did the Jewish
less.
people get to hate the?
Yes, absolutely. When we started to fight,
yeah.
yes, we started to fight, and we couldn't fight too much, because they was coming at night. They was grabbing us, the police. I mean, the Jewish police was coming and grabbing us.
And grabbing the people to take them to the Umschlag.
So you see, there wasn't an Umschlagplatz in that time.
No?
No, they was coming at night, and they took out the people, and they filled up the jails with it. It was a lot of jails, you see, and it was like quarantines, they call it, and they call it like lagers, and they closed up like, let's say, a block, and they put in people there what they didn't like, they wasn't favored for them, and that was the way, and then they give in everything.
Yeah. Okay. Answer is in question 19, which was the last one, regarding Jewish police, Organ states, how many policemen were there? Were they subject to the Judenrat, or did they rule it? Were they directly under German supervision, under Polish blue police supervision?
No, they ruled it not under Polish. We didn't have nothing to do with Polish. I mean, just with Germans. See?
So they had to answer to the Germans?
Every few blocks there was like a police station, yes? And these police stations, every few blocks was Germans. See? And one was already all a police blocks was one official, you know, what he give the order to all of them. See? And each
the German would give the order?
Yeah, the Germans would give the order. And the Jewish police would kept out the order.
Did the Judenrat have any authority over the police?
In the beginning, yes. But later they couldn't do a thing, because when the police went to the German and said what the Judenrat said, they took the people from the Judenrat, they beat them up, and they sent them also to jail, and they pick other people from the Judenrat. See, so they paralyzed almost the people, because each leader, let's say we choose one to keep in the Judenrat. Yeah? They came the Germans, and they took him, and they asked him questions, and if he didn't answer the way that they liked it, they put him in jail. And then they have to pick another one.
Who would pick another one? And where did they get other people to be part of the
Well, there
police?
was always people what I mean, they want to take part. There was a lot of people, you know, what we didn't count on them at all. There was like it was people like.
Get inside.
like they changed the religions, you know, the Jewish people assimilate people a lot. And they used to say they didn't want to be Jewish. So the Germans made them be Jewish from the 5th generation to the 3rd generation. So they threw them also in the ghetto. So and some of them was very intelligent people.
Yeah.
So and they had also to wear the
armband.
armband. And then they gave to them propositions. If you want to take a share to help, to do something. So each time the change, it was always changing. But he was the only one, he was a steady one, the Chernikov, you know. He was a diplomat, you know.
The others went in and out?
In and out, in and out, in and out.
Did they resign or?
They didn't have to resign. If they did a thing, let's say, what the Jewish police didn't like it. So the Jewish police had an interview all the time by the Germans. And if they said something that he wants this or he wants this,
the Jewish police could tell on a certain person?
Let me give the example. That the Germans said that today I want 500 people you send to this and this street to work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they came to the Jewish Gemeinde that have, yeah. And they say I have to send up 500 people. So the person who really liked the Jewish people, I mean he said, okay, I'm going to send you 500 people. Will you give them a dinner? Will you give them bread to eat? In the meantime, when they are working, but they haven't got what to eat. He said yes. So he took the people. He beat them up, and didn't give them food. So next time he asked again for 500 people. He said, I'm just giving you an example. He said, I'm not giving you today, you 500 people, because what did you do yesterday to my other 500 people? So then he didn't have to answer the question. He didn't get next time the 500 people. They sent them in jail, and they beat them up, you know, and there was no more. It was finished with him. So and that's the way. And then later, the mind that couldn't work. You know what the Germans did? Because one man said to them, if you don't believe me, that the Jewish people doesn't want to come for work, take them by yourself on the street. So they used to run in the street with cars and to grab the people. The
Germans would grab the people off the street.
People off the street. Everybody was running away. So the people they kept. So after all, they catch some people.
Yeah.
So they used to catch all kind of people, office people or. He gets excited, darling. Take him.
Yes.
I better.
And to help them with some special food for the children. I mean, nothing.
So in the beginning, the Judenreich tried.
They tried, but they couldn't work.
They couldn't do it.
It was impossible. And then the Germans said that okay, we are going to do by ourselves. We'll see how we can organize. They took some few blocks and they organized like they need clothes for the army. You know what they sent to Russia?
Yeah.
And they said to okay, I'm going to select here professional people, like let's say 2,000, 3,000 professional people, and they have to work. And when they are good workers, we give them a lot of food. And they took him in a block, and those people wasn't allowed to come out from this block, just to live there, to work there, and to eat there, everything. Everything on this block. But when they start working, and they should deliver every day the food for them, they didn't deliver. First was, for example, 1,000 calories a day.
Yeah.
Then they cut off 800 calories a day. And a month later, they cut off another 200 calories. And finally, they ended by 300 calories.
Oh, boy.
And they worked 18 hours a day, hard work.
18 hours a day?
18 hours a day. And every morning, they came in, the Germans came in, and they said, hey, you look sick, get out. Get in another person, this place. See? So you had to be strong.
Yes.
Strong, so they wouldn't even keep you. That's the way they run the whole thing. And this was going on for years.
Yeah.
It started in 40, and it was till 44.
That's it.